if you're a strength trainer and you're really looking to hone the craft and just get better as a personal trainer, then this is like the best event you can go to probably in the world. You'll be around the best strength training business owners and just the best practitioners. So you will learn so much. And if you're a strength training business owner, again, you're going to be around people that really know the craft, so you can pass that on to your team and improve your own personal training skills. But also there's going to be, as I said, some really accomplished business owners where you can learn skills that can help you generate more clients, more revenue, more profit in your business. So if you are like a trainer or a studio owner who practice strength training, this is the place.
How do you run a business without losing yourself while still pouring your heart into it? Did Arthur Jones and Casey Vieder have a secret to growing muscle and specifically growing the arms? And so coming to an event like this and learning more about any of these topics, our business or exercise in general, it stokes our passion. And I think that with passion, we can accomplish just about anything. And I think exercise professionals need to continue to stoke that passion.
And so you're not only going to learn loads and hone the craft and learn business skills and forge like priceless contacts, but you're going to stoke that fire. Like you said, you're going to generate that passion, which is going to help you grow your business, help you become a better trainer who people just can't wait to work with. Lauren Still here, and welcome back to High Intensity Business, your one-stop shop for growing your strength training business and fueling your passion for high intensity strength training. I'm here today with Luke Carlson, CEO and founder of Discover Strength, a fast-growing personal strength training franchise with 31 open locations and 20 pending across the United States. Great to be with you again, Luke.
Lawrence, thanks for having me.
Thank you. And today, obviously, we're going to be talking about a very exciting event that you hold annually, and this year called the Strength Forum, which is taking place in November. I'm excited to hear what the plan is, speakers, the itinerary. So let's go through that. So tell us about this great event and tell us what's going to be happening.
Yeah, the quick background is that for many years, for probably 15 years, we hosted a conference every year, and that was called REC, Resistance Exercise Conference. And in the old days, we called it HIT Resurgence, but it had been around forever. And we brought in speakers from kind of all over the world, and we had attendees from all over the world, and we really put a lot of time and effort into it. And I'm really proud of the event, and selfishly, I enjoyed attending the event. And that's why we started it, right? We would go to conferences and we think, man, I wish I could hear this speaker and this speaker. And we thought, well, why don't we just kind of host an event? Well, because we started franchising, every franchise or on earth has to host an annual convention, an annual conference. And so we put all of our time and effort and money into putting that on for Discover Strength. And let me just tell you, with the passing of Roger Schwab over a year ago, I had so many members kind of our community, and I say our community, I just mean colleagues, that were reminiscing about Roger and their connections to Roger. And of course, what I found out was most of those connections had occurred at our conference over the years. And I thought, well, we should probably bring people together in some way, shape, or form. Frankly, I was missing those connections to our colleagues. And so last year, for the first time, we put on a small meeting called Strength Forum. And the idea of Strength Forum was about 55% learning and about 45% social. Now, I don't know if it's exactly 55-45, but it is not just a conference for learning. It's a gathering of like-minded professionals where we can socialize together and we can also learn from one another. So this will be our second time doing the event. It is less formal than the Resistance Exercise Conference was, but we have great speakers and great content, and we're really excited about it. And I think there's value in the social component as well. So maybe a great place to start is just to kind of talk about where it's held and kind of what our schedule looks like. Is that a fair place to start?
Yeah. And before you do that, I'm thinking, if someone's tuning in for the first time and that they want to know more about like, why is it important to go to the Strength Forum? And I just want to say, kind of from my perspective, from my experience and talking to all our colleagues and having gone to obviously REC before and Strength Forum, what the kind of results people get. And I think if you're a strength trainer and you're really looking to hone the craft and just get better as a personal trainer, then this is like the best event you can go to probably in the world. You'll be around the best strength training business owners and just the best practitioners. So you will learn so much. And if you're a strength training business owner, again, you're going to be around people that really know the craft, so you can pass it on to your team and improve your own personal training skills. But also there's going to be, as I said, some really accomplished business owners where you can learn skills that can help you generate more clients, more revenue, more profit in your business. So if you are like a trainer or a studio owner who practice strength training, this is the place. So hopefully that gets you quite excited. And now Luke can dig into more of the details.
Yeah, thank you for saying all that, Lawrence. I mean, clearly I agree with everything you said. You articulated it wonderfully. So really it's a 2-day format. This is November 21st and November 22nd. That's a Friday and a Saturday, and it's held in Orlando. The reason we want to do that is we want to kind of go back to the roots of high intensity strength training. And it all started in Florida. And of course, so many high intensity training, kind of the maybe you would say the godfathers, grandfathers of our industry are based there, right? So you have Jim Flanagan there and Dr. Ellington Darden. And so we thought, let's just always go back to Orlando, Florida every year for the event. So last year it was just Saturday with workout demos on Friday. I got so many emails saying, hey, it was a really good event, but it should be a little bit longer. So here's what our schedule looks like now. We're doing workout demos at Jim Flanagan's house Friday, late morning and early afternoon. And I'll kind of talk through what those demos are going to look like. But the beauty of this is Jim Flanagan has the greatest home gym in the world. When he bought his house, the first thing he did was not turn a garage into a strength training facility, but instead he just built a massive addition onto the house and built the world's greatest home gym. It's like a museum of machines from 1971 and 1972 to brand new Medix machines and everything in between. And then of course, the walls of this gym are just covered with the history of strength training and all of Jim's experience. So just to be in his house is worth the price of admission. And we'll do workout demos over a number of hours, but we'll also just give participants, attendees, a chance to go through a workout themselves. If they want to go through a full workout, great. If they want to train with a colleague, great. If they want to try just a machine here or there, that's great as well. But it's truly one of my favorite places on earth is just spending time in Jim Flanagan's home and his home gym. So here's what some of our workout demos will look like. This year we have Matt Brisky of Princeton University, kind of, I think, the most significant best-selling, outside of Ellington Darden, the best-selling high-intensity training author. So he wrote A Practical Approach to Strength Training, very, very influential in high-intensity training. He's been at Princeton University for over 30 years. He is going to be training James Fisher. Now, so many of your listeners are familiar with James Fisher. Last year, we had Pete Serquat train Dr. James Fisher. Having Matt Brisky train James Fisher will be just iconic. One of the true pioneers of high-intensity training in Matt Brisky, training, I think, one of the most significant researchers currently in Dr. James Fisher. And I've already seen that workout. I know what every exercise is going to be. I know the order of exercise. It's going to be awesome. So that's one of our workout demos. One of the other workout demos is going to be Michael Petrella, who operates, I think, the best equipped training facility maybe in the world. Most of your listeners will be familiar with Mike Petrella and his Epic facility. He's based in Canada. He will be training Rick Rignow, who is a partner exercise physiologist at Discover Strength. He's been with us forever. Rick has a heck of a home gym as well. Rick is 60 years old. So by the time we get to Strength for him, I think he will just have turned 61. He'll be 60 or 61, and Mike Petrella will take him through a workout. Now, let me just tell you, one of the things I say here is, Mike says, well, what do you want me to take him through? And I say, Mike, you can do whatever you want, but it has to be authentic Michael Petrella. I just can't stand a workout demo where someone does something that they don't normally do with a client. So just make sure it's your signature Mike Petrella experience. So Mike Petrella will train Rick Rignow. And then we have one other workout demo that we're cooking up, and it's going to be probably along the lines of the lengthened partials research study that Discover Strength had published, the largest study ever conducted on the topic. And Dr. James Steele, as the statistician, would say, one of the largest studies in resistance training that's ever been conducted. We'll talk about what that protocol looked like, and we'll demonstrate some of that. So that might involve Taylor Melvin from our team. It might involve David Geschneidner. We'll figure out those details very soon. But for sure, we'll have Matt Brisky training Dr. James Fisher, and we'll definitely have Mike Petrella training Rick right now. But again, if you're interested in those demos, that's great. If you just want to come and hang out and try out some machines and go through a workout yourself, that's the first part of Friday. So that means you should probably fly in Friday morning. We have so many people flying in Thursday evenings that you can take advantage of that Friday. So that's kind of a kickoff to what we're doing. And then the formal kind of agenda starts Friday afternoon. Jeff Shaw, who's based in the UK, who has kind of followed the work of Arthur Jones and kind of been friends with Ellington Darden forever. He's going to kind of tell his story, the first workout that he ever went through with Ellington Darden and Jim Flanagan, and his desire to compete against Casey Viator in terms of weight lifted and reps performed. Jeff is an engineer that's based in the UK. He's going to be our first presentation. So excited to have Jeff make the trip from the UK. He'll be our first presenter. Then we have a panel. And this panel is really a business panel. And we've titled the panel, How Do You Run a Business Without Losing Yourself While Still Pouring Your Heart into It? So that's literally the title of the panel. This is Patty Durrell. This is Mike Lepowski. This is Corey Beth Lepowski. And it's going to be Jeff Tomaszecki. So these are wonderful operators that run businesses of all different sizes. So, of course, the title kind of summarizes what we're going to talk about there. How do you pour yourself into the business, but not lose yourself in the business, which I think is an important topic for so many operators. So that'll be a panel that we'll do Friday night. During our breaks, Dave Landau is going to bring much of his collection. So many of your listeners understand that Dave Landau has the greatest collection of Arthur Jones and kind of Nautilus memorabilia and strength training memorabilia as a whole. And he has kindly agreed to bring that material and have it set out. So during our breaks, we'll get to visit Landau's amazing collection. And then we'll get into a fireside chat with Jim Flanagan. So this will be his life and lessons, building Nautilus, medics, and spreading high intensity training. And of course, being the person that was closest to Arthur Jones. We'll wrap up at about 7 o'clock. We'll do a dinner, a casual dinner at 7 o'clock at the hotel. Last year's dinner was great. Just a wonderful conversation with colleagues. That's Friday. Okay. So Saturday, we kick off with Dr. Ellington Darden. And Ellington Darden is going to do a presentation on, did Arthur Jones and Casey Viator have a secret to growing muscle and specifically growing the arms? And I've looked at his slides, and every time, I've probably told you this before, Lawrence, I get these slides ahead of time, and I'm always tempted to go through every slide and study the slides. And by the time I'm 5-6 slides into them, I say, I got to stop. I have to not go through all these slides because I want to be excited and actually just experience Darden or Jeff Shaw's presentation. So that's what Darden's topic is going to be. And I've heard Darden speak so many times. So many of your listeners have read Dr. Ellington Darden's books. Man, this presentation is an awesome presentation, and I'm personally really excited about the topic. So we'll go from there, and then we have Dr. Bryce Lee doing a short, essentially kind of a TED Talk format, 20 minutes on the topic of training around painful conditions, coaching language, and protocol selection. So Dr. Bryce Lee, of course, is a physical therapist or a physiotherapist if you're anywhere outside of the US, has a unique perspective to how we do evidence-based or high-intensity strength training. Then we'll do another panel, and this panel is going to be many of kind of the who's who of high-intensity training practitioners. So this particular panel, I think, has Michael Petrella and Michael Wolf and maybe Richard Wolf and so many of the names that you're familiar with. I don't have the panelists in front of me, but it's going to be better workouts, routine design, utilizing machines, and instruction. So just the topic of better workouts, we'll have some great practitioners pontificate on that. Then we're going to do another one of these kind of TED Talk formats. It's going to be Chuck Bixby, and his topic is life and lessons from Roger Schwab. I think Chuck knows Roger Schwab as well as about anybody. Friends with Roger forever, worked with Roger for a long, long time. And he's going to talk about the life and impact from Roger. And then we'll have Matt Brisky. Matt Brisky is going to give a presentation on his 45 plus years in high intensity training, just his unique story. We'll do another panel. This panel is going to be about more clients, more revenue, and more profit. So purely a business topic. And this is going to be Pete Serqua and David Geschneidner, who's our vice president of operations at Discover Strength. I don't know if there's two people that know more about making money in a high intensity training business. And I think this is a unique panel because Pete did it with one studio and really, really grew that studio in terms of revenue. David's done it in one studio, but he's also scaled it across a lot of studios. So, David has run studios that are 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and $1.6 million in revenue. And of course, to Discover Strength, we've now scaled that to many, 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 many
And
locations.
what's the average square footage for that revenue, just to give it more context?
Yeah, 1,800 square feet up to 2,000 square feet. Thanks for providing that clarification.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it's to make it, because it's so impressive, it should be there. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of those studios, 1,600 square feet, doing $1.5 million.
Amazing.
So they have just different perspectives and really, really valuable perspectives. I trust everything that Pete says, and clearly I trust David and think David's is brilliant. We'll do Dr. James Fisher. He has a keynote. His presentation is going to be around the health protective benefits of resistance training, kind of a review of the latest research on that incredibly important topic. Mainstream media has jumped all over that recently, right? There's just so much out there. Time Magazine in the US did a piece about 2 weeks ago called, I think the title was Why Strength Training is the Ultimate Anti-Ager. So Dr. Fisher is going to go deep on that research. I will do a presentation. I'm going to keep it very short. It won't be a full kind of 50 minutes. Most of our big presentations are 50 minutes in length. And I'm going to do a presentation on my recap of 2025. So it's going to be my 5 business lessons learned and the 5 most important papers or research studies and how we're applying them to strength training. So 5 business lessons and 5 important papers in 2025, and then how you could apply them to your workouts and to your business. We'll conclude at 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then the grand finale is dinner at Christner's Steak and Lobster. And this was a highlight of the whole event last year. This is us having a huge private room. Everyone's in that private room, eating wonderful food and drinking wine and having conversation late into the evening. And that's a fine dining restaurant to have everybody get dressed up and truly have a great meal together. Of course, concluded with carrot cake is about as special as it gets. So we look forward to that event as well.
Amazing. Anything else to add?
So that's the general structure. We're hammering out one other panel, but you kind of have a good structure of what it looks like. Workout demos on Friday, a little bit of conference Friday evening, and then a full day on Saturday, followed by a wonderful dinner Saturday evening. All of this is at the Sheraton Hotel in Orlando, the Sheraton Orlando North. So it's a wonderful environment. The reason we picked that hotel is that's the hotel that Jim Flanagan and the people at Nautilus and Medics brought all of their guests to. I first went there in 2002, and I sat in the breakfast area, and there was a name placard in that breakfast area that said reserved for the guests of Jim Flanagan. And I remember calling my mother. I was 22 years old at the time, and I thought, I don't know who this Jim Flanagan guy is. I was Jim Flanagan's guest, right? That's my first time really spending time with him. But he must be a big deal that he has a private seating section at this hotel. So that hotel is meaningful to me. I think it's meaningful to the high intensity training world. So we're going to get back there each year.
Yeah, I love that you really decide on the location, and kind of, the location of the event, but the hotel, everything, because of the history and how it ties to the history of high intensity training. I didn't know that actually that well. Just some quick questions for you, Luke. Firstly, I just want to state, actually, obviously there's a lot going on in terms of content, talks, etc. But there's so much networking, so much socializing. So I just want to emphasize that, people will get a lot of opportunity to connect with other practitioners, business owners, and learn a lot there.
And Lawrence, let me just double click on that. I think that's the most important part. I think you're going to learn from James Fisher, and you're going to learn from El Darden, you're learning from Jeff Shaw, you're learning from Matt Brisky. But the most important conversations, the most important learning is the breaks, the dinners, the lunches, all of this downtime where we are just sharing ideas, sharing what's working in our studios, sharing what we're doing in our own workouts, sharing what we're doing with our clients. First of all, that's as valuable as it gets. And I also think it's about as enjoyable as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about from your perspective, Luke? What are you always most excited about regarding these events or this type
Yeah.
of event?
Well, okay. So for me, I love to learn because, and you've heard me say this before, Lawrence, it's not just that I want to learn more and become a master of my craft, which is absolutely the case, but it's this observation from Howard Schultz at Starbucks that I found true in my life and my career, that it's not that if we're passionate about something, we'll go learn more about it. It's that our learning drives our passion. And so coming to an event like this and learning more about any of these topics, our business or exercise in general, it stokes our passion. And I think that with passion, we can accomplish just about anything. And I think exercise professionals need to continue to stoke that passion. What I've noticed from high intensity training practitioners, I'll say worldwide, is they sometimes operate in a vacuum. And when they're not continually learning,
Yeah.
passion starts to wane. And you can just tell when you go through a workout with them. So I will tell you, going to an event like this will stoke your passion that will probably last for a good 48 to 50 weeks. And then you should come back next year, right? And
Yeah.
I, I'm a person that innately has passion for all of this. I'm learning in so many different ways all the time, but this event is the one event that stokes my passion for all of it. So that's number one for me. Number two is I value the relationships. You know, I kind of live my life by this first who, then what principle that was really probably popularized by Jim Collins. It's not as much what you do in your business and in life, it's who you do it with. The journey that you go on, the journey is defined by who you're on that journey with. And if you've never been to this event, you're going to meet so many wonderful people and you're going to meet great colleagues, forge great relationships. You're going to develop friendships. And I think about the people that have been in that room, and they are truly the people that have taught me so much, the people that I call my dearest friends and colleagues and have wonderful relationships with. So I can't wait to be with those people. And I'm saying that, and I know those people. If you're listening to this and you've never attended the event, I'm telling you, you're going to be there for 25 minutes and you're going to find people that are cut from the same cloth as you. And I would all but guarantee you're going to develop wonderful relationships, um, collegial relationships, but also deep friendships.
Yeah, well said. And just to underscore what you said there, it's funny because I wrote this down ahead of the podcast, which is about, getting excited about what we do, developing the passion for what we do. And it's so important, right? I mean, I just did a podcast with Andrei Yakovenko with locations in Toronto, who's done
That was
extremely
great episode. Sorry to interrupt
right.
you.
No,
Great
you're
episode.
right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And obviously, one of the big kind of takeaways from an episode was his passion and how that's enabled him to grow. And like you said, if you lose that, you can tell when you're with that individual and you go through their workout, maybe they lose that passion for their own workouts, their own health starts to slip. And it's like, this is why strength form is such an important investment in yourself, because you're not only going to learn loads and hone the craft and learn business skills and forge like priceless contacts, but you're going to stoke that fire. Like you said, you're going to generate that passion, which is going to help you grow your business, help you become a better trainer who people just can't wait to work with. And you've made it so affordable for people that it's just a total no-brainer. So I think, like you said last year, if you want to be successful, if you want to grow your business, you want to become a great trainer, you have to have an investor's mindset. So invest in yourself is my advice. And I think one of the other things I just want to mention quickly is there's a big emphasis too on exercise science. So if you're someone who is passionate about, evidence-based exercise and learning about the latest science and, what does the science say in terms of like, what is the best way to, strength train, then again, I think you just have to be at this event.
Lawrence, I will tell
Go
you
ahead.
that I just emphasized a lot the collegiality and the social aspects. I think those are really important. But I'm telling you, just based on looking at everyone's slides and understanding their topics, you're going to learn more about exercise science and resistance training and the science that underpins resistance training in a day, 1.3 days, than you would in the latter 2 years of a 4-year undergraduate degree. That's not an overstatement. I mean, we're really going to go deep on some of these topics. And so I'm excited about that. And I don't want to understate that as much as I think the
Yeah.
collegiality and everything is important. And that's very much the vision of this meeting. We're calling it Strength Forum. It's not a big conference. It's a gathering of like-minded colleagues that are really, really significant in our industry and who want to spend time together and learn from each other.
I think you did a great job selling that, Luke. That was powerful. So All right, let's just get the details straight for everyone. In terms of the dates, Friday, November 21st to Saturday, the 22nd. Like you said, a lot of people will be arriving Thursday evening, connecting with colleagues or just getting set up, right? Getting a good night's sleep beforehand. And is there still availability at the Sheraton Hotel at the lower price? Do you know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a hotel block. And so, anybody that wants all the details on this, they can email me. It's
Right.
just luke@discoverstrength.com. And I'll send you a PDF. And the PDF has all the details and has links to everything: discounted hotel, how you actually register, etc. So that's simple enough. And of course, we conclude with this wonderful dinner at Christner's Steakhouse, and that's an extra fee. But we have a great rate with them where it's like a prefix meal. You pay a set amount and you get your wine and steak and dessert, and there's a few different options in there. And so just email me and I can get you that PDF. I'm sorry I cut you off, Lawrence, but that's probably the best.
No, thank you.
We've intentionally not created a website and tried to make it a big deal, but just shoot me an email and I'll get you that PDF.
Yeah, so luke@discoverstrength.com. And this, so you got to book fast, right? Because to get your the low price room at the Sheraton Hotel, it does expire October 31st. This podcast will be out. If you're watching this or listening to this right now, it'll be way before then, or we're going to publish it as soon as we can. But just bear that in mind and make sure that you obviously buy your ticket and book your spot as quick as you can, so you don't miss that less expensive option, right? And also, if you want to connect with people ahead of the event, and please consider joining our school group, High Intensity Business. It's free. So it's school.com/HIB-free. And there's also all the details, all that Luke just shared there in terms of the itinerary. There's a PDF with all the details, like what exactly is happening and when. And there's members in there who are going. So it's a good chance to connect with people ahead. Some people are connecting before the event, doing excursions and random things. So if you're interested in that, connecting with people, then please join. So score.com/HIB-free. There'll be a link below in the description as well. Awesome, Luke. So again, one more time, if you want the details, if you're interested in coming, it's luke@discoverstrength.com. Luke, any other final thoughts?
No, that's it. I can't wait to see so many of your listeners, reconnect with them and meet so many of them for the first time. And Lawrence, thanks for allowing me to come on your podcast and chat about this.
Yeah, well, I think it's really important that we do advertise it because it's just so valuable. And yeah, awesome. Thank you, Luke. Thank you so much for making the time. This is Lawrence with High Intensity Business, and we'll talk to you soon.